Get started with some opening comments from Coach, then we can take questions.
Yeah, I was kind of anxious to see how our guys respond. This is by far the coldest day that we've had out there, and obviously being here in Wisconsin, it's good to see the reaction. I thought the guys handled the ball, especially in the run game. Didn't have any balls on the ground, didn't have any center QB exchanges that I remember. I know there was one bobble on a long snap, but a couple of guys jumped out. Melvin, obviously, a very impressive football player. The good news about him is we got 4 years of him. And I thought, easy for you guys to see Joel Stave. Joel continues to impress me. Just his maturity, his way he handles it. Obviously, love to have that last throw back there in the red zone. And it was kind of probably the last time you ever hear me say it. Matt wanted to run it. I wanted to throw it just to keep people up. So I probably, in retrospect, should have ran it there. But I thought our defense played well, other than a few busted plays, lost leverage. There's a lot of young players. I know we just lost 6 players in the draft, and my guess is we'll have another 6 players signed free agents. There's a lot of good players moving on, but I think we got a number of good players that come back, as well as some young ones that are going to rise up and help us make a run for a 3rd title. Very excited. I think anything injury-wise, Michael Trotter, just a mild MCL strain, didn't look to be anything serious. Darius Hillary was a little bit I'm not saying it's concussion, but he was a little bit symptomatic, so they kept him out of it.
Chase Hammond has had trouble being healthy since he's gotten here, and I know he's been up and down in the spring. What do you expect from him from here on?
Chase is an interesting prospect just because he's so lanky. He's a very athletic specimen, and he had surgery on the ankle twice, I believe. And really at one point they told me they weren't even sure if he was going to be able to play. And he's battled back from that. I think he got a little tougher this spring, and he's had constant struggle with the back. So the thing about Chase, I thought he made some steps this spring, certain times during practice, and I'm excited because I think it is there. He's only a sophomore, so we've got a lot of good football hopefully in front of him.
I think Melvin had 30 carries. Did you plan to feature him that much?
Well, we didn't have James, we didn't have Zoo, we didn't have Monty, and a 5-deep running back core suddenly got slimmed down to 2 healthy guys because that was kind of a process of it. But also, I would say this time, I think Thomas and myself both wanted to see Melvin grind it out. That's one of the things he hasn't had to do, and that's something I was happy to see today. And he almost got stronger as the day went on, in my opinion. I was really excited to see him kind of handle this whole game.
Thomas has been worried about heaping too much praise on Melvin before he's ever had a carry. You concerned about all that? Because there's been a lot of excitement about it.
Well, he had carries. He scored a touchdown in the fall. But that's the neat thing about him is he got 4 games of game experience, and now we get to, we're able to redshirt him by NCAA rules, able to get him that. So we really have a lot of good football. I think that Monty and James will wear off on him. He sees those guys compete the way that they do every day in practice, and realize that you don't become good just by chance. You become good by what you do.
You talked about your linebacker depth this spring, but one guy you didn't talk a lot during the spring was Kiefer, but did he make more plays today than...
Yeah, I would say, Jeff, I saw him flash. I know he had a run-through down there backed up. He's a guy that I've been intrigued with just because I think he's playing at an unrealistic position, and we got him at a will, and that he's probably more of a Mike inside, but we just want to get him on the field. So he's a very intriguing player to me because, he's only a redshirt freshman. He's potentially probably got the size to get bigger or stay where he's at. So he's a coach's son that is just one of those kids that is going to be a good football player. He kind of reminds me of a Conrad Zagzebski at this point in his career.
When you say a chance to get bigger, are you talking move into the line?
Well, no, or just, potentially that is always there, I guess, but I'm not saying he can't play linebacker yet. He runs, he hits, he goes harder than most people go, and just has an opportunity to make more plays.
It just seems like Joey Brennan's struggling a little right now. What have you seen from him?
I think, Joey's definitely had some flashes this spring that look good, and then some other phases where it doesn't look good. And I think, a classic example right there in 2 minutes, I was even on the field. They said, what can't you take? And he said, a sack. And then, the ball couldn't come out of his hand. So he's got the intelligence, he's got the ability, he's got to be able to understand, okay, here's the play, this is where the ball goes, it's open, throw it. If it's not, go to 2, throw it, and just process it.
It's the first time.
Up and down, and our biggest focus right now is just consistency. And if we can get consistency, then we'll be fine. It's just, us younger guys got to step up a little bit more. Isaiah came out, didn't have a so great half. He came out and he did fantastic in the second half. And second half is how we need to play the entire game. And if we do that, I'm sure we'll be fine. My knee's pretty good. Overall, I mean, I don't have any problems. It gets sore here and there, and there's some stuff, I gotta get probably done, but it's not nothing super major. I'm playing, and that's all that matters.
I'm assuming
all this practice under your belt.
I thought the spring was productive for me today. I don't think it really displayed the progress I've made throughout the spring. Today was a really rough day for me. Just didn't really get things going. With the twos or ones. So.
And then Coach was saying, you feel like you can be the starter, take this into the summer, do your work.
Yeah, I mean, you always have that competitive nature. You feel like, as an athlete, you always feel you can get better, and you always want to be the best at your position. So no matter what sport you're playing, you always think you can get it done. So Joel Scott in the back. Compete to be the quarterback here, and just have to see where things happen.
most disappointed.
All this practice under your belt.
I thought the spring was productive for me today.
All right, well, how do you think you did on that?
All in all, I think it was a pretty good day. I mean, I'd like to take the last throw of the game back, but all in all, ups and downs.
Do you think you took a step forward this spring then, moving towards the fall? I guess this is the conclusion of the spring practices.
Yeah, I mean, again, very up and down. The new offense, new coaches, but I think yeah, we took a step forward.
The Melvin's performance today back there.
Melvin, I thought he played well. He's really played well throughout the spring, especially with James going down, Monty, limiting his reps to be smart with him. I think Melvin has really done a good job stepping up into that role.
Just trying to figure everything out and just kind of get your feet wet. The big stretch you made these past 15 practices that you think are going to carry through.
Yeah, that's huge. I think everything I've learned this spring. We've been working hard, and to carry over the fall, it's going to be huge. Because spring's cool. You get to learn a lot of things, and it's fun to play with you guys. But fall's when it matters. We got to win some games, and I really want to be a part of that. So.
Only holding the first team offense to two long touchdown drives. Only 14 points from that. That's got to be something that you guys have to probably be. You obviously have to give up scores, but only give up those two. It's going to be pretty impressive from that aspect.
Yeah, we did all right. They had a couple assignment busts, which we'll get in the film room and watch that. But overall, I thought guys were working hard and flying around with the ball. So I think overall we all had fun playing together, which is great.
Obviously, we all have something that we can further ourselves on in the fall, but overall, I think it was a pretty productive spring, especially for the defense. Definitely. Definitely clean, and everybody fitting where they're supposed to and being where they're supposed to be. So, in that essence, that's what I mean by clean. So.
It's not the greatest atmosphere, but